to the Social Squad. I am Chase Taylor.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Jordan.
Today we welcome our guest, Kyle Barboza.
Good morning.
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 How y'all doing?
Welcome to the Social Squad.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, Kyle is a freelance audio and video editor and a podcaster. Kyle was born with cerebral palsy, and as a result, he has had to deal with a number of physical, social, and emotional issues. Thanks to his family, he was always encouraged to follow his dreams despite what the world thought. Kyle discovered audio and video editing through his friends and their love of animation and music. So in the early days of YouTube, they would use clips from our favorite anime shows and create music videos for fun. After attending broadcasting school, he started helping other creators with their projects as well as hosting his own podcasts. Kyle became a full-time freelancer during the pandemic and plans to continue creating content for himself and others. Wow, that's awesome,
nice.
Kyle.
Well, thanks.
I've seen those videos on YouTube before, the animes and music. They're awesome.
Oh, they're
I
fun.
love them.
Mine were never that great, but
Oh, no.
like mine were never that great. But I just loved doing it. Like I would download some that had some of my favorite songs on there, but also clips from some shows that I had never seen, other stuff from like anime movies I had never seen, and then my friends and I were like, look, we could do this, and we figured out how to do it using stuff like Windows Movie Maker and YouTube at the time was like the Wild West. You know what I mean?
It was so brand new that nobody really knew what in the world was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, like during the early days, there were like there weren't really many like YouTube like mega stars, like PewDiePie at the time in
yep.
the early days.
Nah, like they were getting there, but no one knew what it was gonna turn into. Like at first, it was just people just filming themselves, lip syncing the songs, and and playing with their cats and just
The cat videos.
cat videos. They knew exactly what they were doing with the cat videos. The cat videos would get the most views because cat equals cute.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really thought YouTube could be like kind of like a path to like Hollywood or fame, because I think that's how Justin Bieber got found on YouTube. He made YouTube videos of himself singing cover songs at home, and then like a music found them.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw a banner on someone's channel. I'm like, where did you get the banner from? Like when ads started becoming a thing and we got more like memory and more screen time, I'm like, because I come from the days where it was just 5 to 15 minutes of video. You know what I mean?
Now it's longer. It gets longer and longer.
Now it's movies.
Pack of the ads.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
I will never pay for YouTube Premium. I don't care how many ads, until ads. Like I refuse to pay for that.
The only thing I don't like is the unskippable ones. It's like, I don't want to watch this. Get back to my video.
Especially when they're like a 30-second unskippable ad.
The ones I can't stand are the ones that are obviously not ads. You put your full video on top of my video. I'm trying to get back to what I'm trying to watch.
Oh, that's even worse.
I did that once or twice.
Yeah, my brother right now is starting his YouTube channel on, like, he'll have his phone, he'll be holding his phone playing Metopia on the DS.
Yep.
And at first it was like only the 15 minutes because that is what YouTube will allow, unless you like go into YouTube Creator and extend it. So he now has a whole channel. He has some videos. I think he does stuffed animal recreations.
Nice.
Wow. Nice.
Metopia play-by-play on how he does it. So it's interesting to see how it grows.
Yeah.
Get those sponsors.
Yeah.
That's really big enough.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like my friends and I started it. When we started doing it as a group, right? We were called Wii Entertainment with like 6-7 E's, and this is before the Nintendo Wii came out. So we were so we were like, oh shoot, that's a nice coincidence, right?
Yeah.
So it was started by my best friend Steve. Shout out to him. He's also a local creator. He's on Twitch and all that good stuff.
Right.
And we like me and a few groups of people, we just put out a video, like couple videos a week under that name. Like we all had our own separate channels, but we would all like represent We Entertainment at the end of like credits would be at the end of the video.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
Very nice.
Nice.
And YouTube has evolved since that time. You got makeup tutorials, you have gaming tutorials, you have all these different, how do I say that?
Like types of
Genres.
content?
Yeah,
The
yes.
genres of
Content,
content.
yeah, all
Yeah,
all these
content.
different genres of videos.
Exactly.
You never know what's gonna really take off. Now people are following trends, whereas before people were just just
And
putting
then
stuff
the
out there.
challenges that are up on there.
Yes.
There are certain ones I will get behind, like the ALS challenge. That was a good one.
The Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yes, the Ice Bucket Challenge. That was a good one to get involved with because it went back to charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones, what were you people thinking?
My friends and I talk about this all the time. Like there was the fire challenge. People were literally setting themselves on fire.
Oh my gosh.
No.
There, everybody knows about
No,
everybody
no.
knows about the infamous Tide Pod challenge.
Oh no type on, no type on. I
No.
don't
Oh, yeah.
think about that.
Oh my god. I
And
remember
just a
that.
couple years
And
ago,
then you got the blackout challenge,
The-
where people will physically make themselves black out
yeah.
in order to like see death or something.
It's
and then
amazing
get
what
back.
people
know
will do
about
for.
that.
Don't ever do that. Don't.
No, please
don't ever
do
do
not
it.
do the blackout
Don't do
challenge.
it.
And then now there's a new challenge where college kids would make like some kind of concoction, drink it, and then make
the
themselves.
Borg.
Yes, the Borg.
Borg, yeah. Look, the last time I heard about Borg, it was on Star Trek.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not down with the Borg. I don't drink at all, so
Me
when
neither.
Me
when
neither.
I heard about this, I was like, where is this coming from and why? But I get what some people are trying to do. They're trying to be social, pun intended, I guess in this case.
Trying to get the likes, get the views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Kyle, I heard you have a podcast.
I have a few, yeah. So my first one, my baby, is called On the Brain, and I turned that into On the Brain Entertainment, which is in itself like a small network of podcasts talking about everything on the geek and nerd spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking everything from music, anime, monster movies, stuff like that. Just straight up nerding out. And
Yeah,
that started on YouTube. And then I gradually was like, you know what? Let me get out of this algorithm and basically go to another one. I ended up on Anchor, which is now Spotify for podcasts.
Ah.
You know.
Oh, wow.
See.
So, and I started doing that, and my friends and I, we all have our own like separate shows, and we come together and we just nerd out about different things and just having fun. Then my other one's a bit more serious, and that one's called A for Abled, talking about all different facets of disabilities, people talking about it from their point of view as opposed to like a medical point of view. I don't want to ever be put in a box. You feel me?
Yeah.
So-
No.
So my thing is let people tell their story, regardless of whatever it is, because everybody has something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a disability or not, everybody has something. So my thing is tell your story, be honest, be transparent. I'm not gonna edit anything that it's gonna make a certain narrative. This is your story. You know what I'm saying? So
Like you take the lead.
I take the lead as far as hosting. Like if like my first episode, I talked about myself because originally the concept was to talk about different facets of having cerebral palsy, right? But then I turned it into more of a all encompassing podcast, mental health issues, physical issues, just emotional strife, whatever it may be. Even if you're happy, if you want to come and talk about it, let's talk about it. I want it to be therapeutic for people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And yeah, you say like you let them like take the lead and like share their story, right? So like
Yeah.
you're like like sometimes people like host the like edits and like try to fit like a certain narrative or something like that. But like I like that how you say you let them tell their story from like their perspective.
It's an interview. You know, it's an interview podcast similar to this. It's just, you know, I want them to feel comfortable enough to talk about the uncomfortable stuff. I don't want to just bring it up. If they bring it up, then I ask questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you don't want to like probe them. Like you want them to say, come out ourselves like naturally, right?
Exactly. I want it to be
you
natural.
Want it to go with the flow.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what do you enjoy most about podcasting?
It's stuff like this, having a conversation, and just the fact that you, to a certain point, you make up the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a local podcast and you're working from, say, your, in my case, from my apartment, I don't censor what people say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not working for a company. I'm working for myself. I am the company. So my thing is I just want to have fun. Let's talk about it. Like, what's the topic? Let's choose the topic. Let's nerd out about it. Or if we got to get serious, let's get serious. I want to have all types of conversations. And it's a great place to learn. Podcasting is a great place to learn. When I was in broadcasting school, originally the goal was to get on radio. That's what they trained us for. It was it was either TV or radio. So thanks to that, I know how to put together a radio show, and I also know how to do a news broadcast. But they are, they have limitations as to the content. You know what I mean? So my thing was, let me cut out that part and just try it this way. And that was back in 2010. Now everybody's got a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Podcasts are really getting their ground because
Became really popular.
Yeah. What's your favorite podcast interview? You must have had hundreds of them.
Okay. All right. So I'd have to say, because I also work with other podcasts. I participate as a host. On my show, it's probably when me and my cousins get together on the mic. It's always a good time. Me and my family, especially with my cousin and my sister. When my sister Cheyenne comes on the brain, we talk a lot of Disney, right? And
Disney.
And plus we're the type of people that when we're watching a movie, especially the ones that we grew up on with all these reboots and everything, we'll dissect the heck out of it. You know what I'm saying? So those are probably my favorite. And on when I'm doing stuff for Abled, it's probably my first episode was with my sister and my mom, talking about their point of view of what it was like living with me and stuff like that. I did one with my uncle, who that episode is called "The Fear of Nothing," where he was talking about his challenges after losing his father and and alcoholism and working with people trying to recover from drugs and abuse and things like that. And it was like I was meeting him for the first time, even though I've known him my entire life. It was like I was meeting him for the first time. I did an interview with my dad, and he was very. My dad is a retired cop.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure he's a lot of stories to tell.
So yeah, he's a retired cop. He's also a DJ, and he talked about what that was like from that perspective. But we got to know each other a little more. Like me and my dad are close, but I felt like that time in the studio brought us closer. And when I'm co-hosting with people, I've talked to like old school rappers. I've talked to people on the come up. I've talked to people in the medical space. I've talked to a lot of people, and honestly, it's hard to pick a favorite in those.
Wow.
It is really hard. Like, shouts out to Who They Want Entertainment. You could find them everywhere. They brought me in originally as an editor, and I ended up being a co-host.
Wow.
And it just, when you have that kind of chemistry, and we've been working for pretty much almost 2 years now, and we've talked to a lot of people. There is one interview I didn't get to go on, and I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, what was that?
Which one was that?
my buddy, the host of all this thing, his name is Steady. He got to he got to interview Tommy Chong.
Wow.
All right, and I didn't get to meet the guy, right? And it was right before that '90s show was about to premiere on Netflix. So if you're familiar with that '70s show and Cheech and Chong and all those stuff back from the '80s, right? This guy was like, he's an awesome dude, but I never got to talk to him.
I would be jealous.
So, Kyle, what's
Yep.
your definition of self-care?
Chilling at home. Like, definition of self-care for me. I love music.
Same.
Yeah, me
Right?
too.
I love music, and I listen to just about anything, and I love dissecting lyrics and just chilling it, and that's the beauty of living at home. I'm gonna just say that right now. If you wanna dance, okay, at home with barely anything on, there's nobody to say anything. The only thing I always do is I don't turn on my music until after 10 o'clock. Because I live alone, and I know I have neighbors, and they have kids. A lot of them have kids, so I try to be as neighborly as possible. So I give them until about 10 o'clock, right? Until about 10 o'clock, because I figured, hey, it's mid morning. People are either up or out of the house.
At first, I thought they were talking about 10 at night. I'm like, that's late.
10 at night. 10 at night. It depends on the day.
Oh, okay.
True.
Fridays,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
The weekend.
That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's the weekend. But I don't stay up that late where the music's always blasting. So,
Oh, okay.
or I put my headphones on.
Yeah. That's actually how I decompress. I listen to music and I pace back and forth after like a long day at work. I'm like overstimulated, and that's how I calm myself down. So
Same as
Oh, yeah,
me.
so
I'll put on Spotify and with certain songs, I'll like sing along to it. It's like freaking me out.
Chase, what do you do for like self care?
I usually just watch videos or just play puzzles and listen to music and just look at my stuff that I created.
There you go.
Nice, there you go.
Good. So Kyle, how do you view living as a disabled adult versus as a child?
I'm gonna say it like this. When I first moved out on my own, it was hard.
I imagine.
It was something I wanted to do. It was something I promised my parents that I was not going to be in their basement at 30 years old. And no offense to anyone that is, because times are hard right now. It's not like it used to be when people could move out at 18. Okay, realistically, right now it ain't like that. But
You can't buy a house like from working like 2 years at like a retail. Like
No,
high school or something.
no, it's not like that, and people wonder why people are silently quitting. It's not like it was before.
Yeah.
But when I finally did move out on my own, I had a lot of help. My aunt was helping me. I had to literally dig up my past for certain things. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother was helping me house hunt, apartment hunt, and giving me tips on what it's like living in an apartment versus what it's like living with your parents, living in a house. All that stuff was happening while things were around me other things around me were changing, because around the same time I moved out, one of my best friends moved in with his now wife. So it was like, hey, and we only lived a few minutes away from each other.
Hey.
So I started thinking of after about a year is when I really got used to it. After about a year is when I really started getting used to not hearing my parents' footsteps above me, to not, to going home and not being in the same going in the same direction as my mother, because I worked for my mom for about 9 years, right? And I would walk from my mom's hair salon, and just walk home, right? And now it's like, I work for myself, and I'm in my apartment that I pay for. It is a totally different experience. Like, people come to me for entertainment sometimes. Like, I'm the one that hosts like family get-togethers sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another benefit. That's another benefit of living on your own. If somebody wants to come over, you know what I'm saying, they can come over and stay how long they want. But we're all adults and we all have jobs and some of us have kids, so they know when to leave. You know, I never have to like, okay, you gotta go now. No, they know. It's like, dude, I gotta work in the morning. Where I hear you. You know.
Yeah.
Soon
Okay.
morning, I gotta work at 8. Get out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta
Exactly.
leave. I gotta get some sleep.
Oh yeah.
But I got my own space, and having your own space, no matter how big, no matter how small, it's a great feeling. You know,
Indeed.
Own independence.
Independence, and even as a disabled person, it's a very like. We all have an idea what that's like from our own point of view. Everybody likes their space.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody
Yeah.
likes their space. Me, I'm a introverted extrovert, you know what I'm saying? So I can go to places with parties and stuff like that, but I don't need that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't need to be social all the time. But at the same time, I like it. And then when I'm by myself, I love just being by myself.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I'm like reverse. I think you said you're an introvert, extrovert. I think I'm an extrovert, introvert, if anything. Because like I'll go to a party to get charmed for like get scared, and I'll dance. I'll participate in the games. But after me like 2.5, 3 hours, I'm like my social battery's like drained. I kind of want to go home.
Yeah, I kind of want to
So
go.
Yeah,
I'll just go and be on my phone, watching videos or listening to music, and my friends kind of know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's like a certain point where like, okay, enough's enough.
Yep. And enough's enough.
Let's say somebody wants to follow their dream. What would you say to them, even if they're neurotypical or disabled or just starting out? What would you say who's like trying to follow their dream? Their dreams.
I've had this conversation with my parents so many times. I've seen people with no legs, no arms going on world tours. I've seen people that are not neurotypical. I've talked to people that are going on stages talking about themselves and what it's like living with whatever they live with. Right? I know people that have lived their entire lives with no diagnosis that are just getting diagnosed now, and they're living full lives.
Yeah.
They have families. They have they have careers. You don't let anything stop you. The only thing that can stop you is you. I know that's cliche, but and I know that's what they used to tell us as kids, but it's the truth. But here's one thing that they don't tell you. Sometimes the people that will say don't stop you will be the ones to try and stop you because they're worried about what the world is going to think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you have to be willing to take a chance, and it's okay to ask for help. That's one thing I'm still learning till this day. It's okay to ask for help because everybody has something and everybody needs help with something.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
No one's ever. I never like this phrase, self-made, as they say. They like,
Yeah.
even if you did like majority of the work, there was still someone to help you along the way. You still like context to help you make it. As you
Exactly.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's people behind the
Friends,
scenes.
family, mentors, teachers.
Like
Yep.
even celebrities now again. There's people behind the scenes that help them get where they are today. Let's take the Kardashians.
Oh my
They're
Oh yeah, they do.
they have people who are behind the scenes of like some of the biggest companies helping them get to where they are today.
Exactly. It's everybody had there had to be somebody in their corner, and that's another thing. You got to make sure you got the right people around you. Because sometimes you feel that bad energy, but it's like, oh, they're getting me to where I think I want to go. Maybe that may not be where you want to go right then and there,
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
And I love the point that you brought up earlier about how people have like their best interests at heart might hold you back because they don't want you to take the risks, like you said. Like, I have a friend where like their parents are so concerned about like him like moving out, and they wouldn't let him try anything new. And I think he went to some sort of like program thing in New York, and he ended up doing really great, like excelling in that.
yeah, it's amazing. Like I'm learning more about disabled history. because it's something that they never told us as kids.
No.
You know what I'm saying? As a kid, being disabled, they were expecting me to be a lot more than I am. Like, yes, I have issues, but they were expecting me to be completely immobile. They were expecting me not to be able to speak right. All that stuff that they had, and this was back in the 90s. People were not trained like they are now. There were no protests on these issues as they are now. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel like, look, we got to be willing to listen and learn from each other. We got to be willing to listen. We got to be willing to talk about the uncomfortable issues. We have to be willing to just be ourselves 100% of the time and not worry about what other people think, because we're not here for a long time.
No, we're not. We're not immortal.
Exactly.
We wish.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
Like, live in the moment.
But I got a question for anybody. Like, when you let someone talk, do you actually listen to them, or do you let them talk just to be nice, just to give your point of view?
And you're just waiting for your own response.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it depends with certain people. Like, with some of them who are spewing, like, lies and all that, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to smile and nod so I agree with you so I can go home and listen to my music and play with my cat.
Because you want to be polite.
Yes. Other times, like this conversation, it's been interesting. So I'll sit here and listen to it 24/7. I'll stay here and actually tune out the world so I can focus on each detail.
Yeah, I do that all the time because I edit for other podcasts, right? I edit for other podcasts and some YouTube channels, and sometimes when they give me the right to just be creative with certain scenes or add certain things, I'm like, I wish you would have told me that earlier, because part of me wants to add this to this to this, but then when I'm editing my own stuff, and I love editing my own stuff, but sometimes I get sick of my own voice.
Oh wow.
You're not wrong.
You know, it's sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, I could have done that better.
Oh,
I know.
Exactly.
I could have said that better. I could have delivered that better. Or why did I have to say that?
They say you're your own
Exactly.
worst
You-
critic. Your own
That's
worst-
facts.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're your own worst critic.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody in here has their own. Everybody in here has their own quirks and their own talents and everything. But it's because of that makes you who you are.
Exactly.
You know.
So thank you, Kyle, for coming on to the Social Squad.
Thank you for having me.
Happy
You're
to have
welcome.
you here.
Thank you.
Um,
Peace.
Cut. Peace.
See ya.
See you next time.